Hey followers, Kyle here. Just thought it's about time I give you an introduction into the other CIVIC project. So my father and I have been for a long time now piecing together a 992 AG CIVIC. The purpose of this one is for drag use, so drag racing, quarter miles, that sort of thing. Yeah, it has been a project over a number of years and we're still not there yet, but I'll give you a bit of a look at what we're working with and sort of run you through what we've done to date and perhaps some of the things we still need to do. But it's labour of love, something I've been working on for a wee while. So yep, as you can see, got the gutted or cut bumper like on my car, but to the full extremes. Homemade drag racing rear wing. Got the Lexan or Perspex rear windows and also on the doors. Done the Integra disc brake conversion, some adjustable camber arms and solid bushes there. TN adjustable suspension. I believe we put the 10 kilo springs in the rear and 5 kilos in the front. The idea that trying to get the power down in the front, having it stiff in the rear will somewhat keep the front of the car down and hopefully minimise some traction issues we may face. It's got some billet lower control arms in the rear as well. As you can tell, it's also mixed matched in colours, but we'll go around to the front here. So done the Prelude brake upgrade on the front, so these are 282 discs, unlike I think it's 262, which I intend on putting on my car. Yeah, braided brake lines as well. Yeah, a few new bushes. You can see traction bar there too, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's have a look inside here and see what we've got. So, not much. She's been fully gutted. So we've got a 6-point roll cage. So just down the front there, up and over, and down here and here. She's been fully gutted and cleaned the rear of it. Just the NZKW, so a brand in New Zealand, fixed bucket seat. And nothing really else. No dash, as you can tell. We do have a power tune digital dash that we've half installed. And as you can see in the distance there, we've got a Link computer with a custom loom by a company that I believe might be finished now, Tornio Garage, based in Auckland, New Zealand. But yeah, they made us a custom loom there for the engine and obviously for the basics that we need for this particular build. It's got this particular shifter here is a Prelude BB4 shifter. That we do have something else we're looking to change. We've got a K-tune shifter and a couple other mounts to convert the cables to, I guess, mount nicely and work fluidly, hopefully. Yeah, doors have been fully gutted, and just we got some aluminium sheet just folded up to suit, and yep, pretty straightforward there. I'll pop on it if I can. There we go, upside down, haven't mounted it yet. And as you can tell, we've got something that comes out the bonnet there. So there's the front of it, so we've made it like a dam just to close off the whole bumper got an aftermarket front lip, and then just some vents there straight in for the radiator to keep it cool, and an air intake made out of a factory headlight just there. And this is it here. So it's a H22A out of a BB4 Prelude. It's got Euro R cams. The intake has been gutted, and I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a 2-inch spacer as well in the plenum just to raise it a bit. It's got obviously a coil on plug conversion, and there is our fuel tank. So it's just a 7-litre drag racing tank from Speed Factory, which are based in the USA. And so obviously we don't have a fuel tank at the rear of the car like originally we did. This one was also a carby model, and instead of converting this one to fuel injected, we've opted with that to save on weight, and that's ample space for drag racing. And then yeah, obviously an intake straight from the headlight into the plenum. Just a little, I think it might be a 46mm 3-core or 3-row radiator, and then the hood exit headers. Yeah, pretty straightforward really. There's still a few things to do. We haven't yet started it up. We're hoping to relocate the battery possibly down in the front here or in the rear of the car, and that's really dependent on which class we intend on racing in. So in New Zealand there's a couple of institutes, if you like, that govern the drag racing, and their rules vary slightly, and one of those are battery being inside the car, near the rear of the car, with obviously some sort of kill switch attached, and the other racing tracks don't permit that, and therefore have to be concealed under a bonnet or outside the car. So we'll work out exactly which way we go there, because where we live we're about 7 hours away from either of the tracks. So yeah, we'll just go through the motions here and I guess tailor it to suit the more likely track that we'll visit with this particular vehicle. So yeah, we've just got a few more bits to do outside. I think we haven't quite finished with the extended wheel studs here. We've got to carry that on the front. I think on the other side we've got to swap we haven't quite got around to changing that side's springs from front to rear. So TN's adjustable suspension, when you get it comes out with I think 10 kilo springs in the front and 5 kilo in the rear. We've reversed those, as mentioned a little bit earlier, with the intention that hopefully being stiffer in the rear will keep the front down a little bit and allow it to somewhat keep the front down and hopefully minimise. Now at a guess, this it's a 2.2 Doc VTEC. It's been a while, but I think there's something like 220 horsepower in factory trim. It's got a few other bits and pieces, as I mentioned, the camshafts, adjustable cam gears. Obviously it's going to be tuned eventually, and it's got a link ECU, and the plenum being gutted, and then a bigger throttle body, and the exhaust is vents straight out the bonnet. So coil on plug, and I think there's another couple of little bits and pieces there, but that's kind of the crux of this car at this stage. Just had a mate put in a new windscreen as well. So yeah, we'll go through the motions of buttoning up the last bits and pieces. Got to sort out some of the wiring yet, mount the battery, do the wheel studs, and just I guess a general once over of the whole car. Make sure we've actually tightened everything up that we've tittled with over the years. and then yeah, we're looking to load like a I guess a basic tune to it that you can somewhat source these days, and just try and fire it up and get work through all the ins and outs of what's working, what's not, and then I guess arrange a dyno tune for it, and hopefully get down the strip in the not too distant future. But I'd say this particular car is probably it would be in the 850 kilo mark, even with the cage. It's heavily stripped. We've only got what we need in there at the moment, so yeah, should be fun. We're going to keep it naturally aspirated at this stage. We do have another H22A out of a BB4 Prelude as well, for a later date maybe if needed. It's got 76,000 Ks on the clock, that one, so very low Ks. We haven't opened that up. That's just a spare that came by that we've put aside for a rainy day, and who knows, that one might end up a few other bits and pieces added to it over in due course. So we also, just reminded me, we've got what is it, LSD, I think it's a T2W4 LSD gearbox out of SIR in this one, and we've got another two gearboxes as well. It's got, we use the Yonaka engine mounts and Yonaka half shafts on this one. They're rated to 500 horsepower, I believe. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. I just saw this Ultra Racing brace there, and let's see if you can see or not, but yeah, the traction bar at the front there as well. So that should be a bit of fun when we get to that point. But it's just a little bit of an introductory into the other build that's on the go, so the other Civic. I'll keep you updated along the way. But as always, guys, feel free to give us some tips or some feedback as to what your thoughts are on that build. Any questions? Perhaps you've done an H22A swap into something, and there were certain things you wished you'd done or didn't do. Yeah, but otherwise, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you when we're looking at you. Cheers.